Yo, yowzers. What's up, y'all? What's going on tonight? Getting myself together. Let me get myself together. That's all I got to do. How's everybody? What's happening, Big Honcho? All right, okay, Big Honcho, check on in. Me too, man. Prepper 101, what's up? Jason, Shanna, the Ewings are in the building. Coy, what it do? My family is Fly family, Billy Willie, Bill, my man, Tank and Real Deal. What's happening? Lamerick, what up? What up? What's to it? Prepper 10101. What's up, man? What's going on with you? Hope everything is going amazing. Hold on. BP, what up? What's going on, dog? I'm doing something, y'all, so I'm gonna miss a couple people. Wait a minute. Gotta get my email up now. Boom. Shakalaka. There it is. Send that to myself. Damn, I'm back. Copy to the. I did that. All right. Erica, what's up? My fly family. What's going on? 2A Drayway. What up, brother? Let me get myself together. Did I hit send on that? I had to. I know I'm not that slow, y'all. Give your boy a chance. Oh, that's what happened. I be acting like I don't know nothing about technology, and I do this 3 nights a week. Unbelievable. 2A in LA. What up? Mr. Copacetic, what up, man? The ghetto. What up, dog? 1 second here. Boom. All right. Getting everything together. Randy Caldwell, what's up, man? Uh-oh. What's going on, my black is beautiful? Armel, what's to it, young buck? Philly Slow, what's happening? Randy Caldwell. Why? Randy Caldwell sound like he my lawyer or something. Or like he just sounds so important. I'm glad to know people like Randy Caldwell, man. What's happening, Randy Caldwell? Rock Bezzy, what's going on, man? House of Siege. How are you, young lady? Crazy Mechanic, Zeus, Nola Saint, what it do? Make sure y'all smash that like button for me tonight. Now we're doing something a little different. I want to talk about it. Maurice Evans, what's happening? BP, my mentor, did I speak to you already? If I didn't, what's going on, bro? Calvin Carbine, what's up, man? So if anybody start disagreeing tonight, I'm gonna bring Randy Caldwell in here. He'll take care of that business. Oh, it's over with. A boy named Randolph. Boy, I never call you Randy again. Randolph Caldwell. You hired. I don't give a damn if he don't know nothing. I'm gonna let him represent me. He ain't got to know nothing. He's my guy. He gonna beat any case. Randolph Caldwell. Any of you criminals looking for a lawyer? SD Marine 89. What's up, man? Matter of fact, Randolph, I got a dude in here named Ghetto. You already know he needs some representation just from his name. We're gonna have to get him some help. So look, y'all, tonight we're gonna talk about competition shooting. Those who may want to get into competition shooting. I'm gonna have some guys maybe come through that already shoot competition, Ready Reg, what up? But I know it's some guys out there like me. You be thinking you're getting a little better. You be like, oh boy, I know how to hit the target now. And then when you hit the target 2 or 3 times and you feel like you're ready to go shoot competition. So this is for us. This is for all of us that fit into that boat. Y'all know, you know what I'm talking about? So, Patrick, what up, man? I'm living in Maryland, but originally from 79th and Essex. Oh, Randolph from the hood. Oh, Gail, too. Oh, man. Oh. Yeah, he probably, I don't think he's no lawyer now. But anyway, I'm going to still let you represent me, man. I mean, damn, you didn't told me all that. Now I fired you. You hired you and fired you all together. But it's cool. You're still my guy, man. I know a lot of people off the 9. Whole bunch of them. Tony Smith, what up? Miss Ghetto, glad to see you. You know what, Miss Ghetto? You came by last time, and Ghetto actually act like he has sense. I'd love for you to hang around a little bit longer tonight, just so that we can have a repeat of that. Kaba, what up, champ? Dwayne Randall, what's going on, man? Yes, sir, Mr. Randolph. Appreciate you, man. That's what we're gonna call Mr. Randolph. That sounds better. Hey, Mr. Randolph, delete the comment about where you're from, though, because that's gonna make it difficult when I start telling people that you're my lawyer. They go back and see that comment, they're gonna be like, "That ain't no lawyer. Y'all trying to set us up." No, it's all love, man. I love my city, man. Shout out to Mr. Randolph, originally a Chicago dude. JQ, what up? Oh, wait a minute. Gotta change that tonight. So let me look at something. Zach, you sent this over. Nah, I know what to look at. Wait a minute. Where'd it go? Y'all bear with me, man. I promise you. There's something going on, man. It's not me getting old either. Something happened where somebody been tampering with my memory. Cause I can't seem to remember nothing. Parasite, what's up, man? I don't know who it is. I'm gonna find out, boy. When I find out which one of y'all been tampering with my memory, it's gonna be some furniture moving. I'll tell y'all that right now. I'm not finna be playing with people messing with my memory. But I'm gonna bring my partner in here. A, because he's my partner. B, because he actually shoots competition. So I'm gonna bring him up in here, and anybody who got any competition shooting questions and everything, we'll start getting those ready. Do me a huge favor and hit the like button for me, so we can kind of build that algorithm up. If you are a YouTuber and you have the ability, please share the live. If you so wish, that would be dope. Fat guy with guns, what up?
What up, man?
You good, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hey,
typing.
Yeah, I found it now though, but I was finna start shouting out some of the people the people that have come on board for sponsorship. Tonight's live is sponsored by, you can probably see it over there in the corner over that way.
See,
Gun Camp tonight. Because it's competition shooting, a lot of the guys in Gun Camp shoot competition.
Right.
So shout out to Gun Camp.
Shout out to the Gun Camp.
I also want to shout out some more people who have come on board to try to help us make Nashville, Tennessee an amazing experience is what we're trying to do, man. I'm talking about we are working our fingers to the bone to get this thing on point, man.
You need me to pull up that list? I got the
I
list.
got it. I found it, bro.
Right.
It took me a second. I paused a little bit in the live and everything because it went rough.
Okay.
But so first, I want to shout out to our two biggest sponsors at this moment, which is Optics Planet. Shout out to them for sponsoring Nashville. Red Phoenix, what up, brother?
What up,
as well as Ammunition Depot, who came on very recently. I want to shout out brothers over there at Ammunition Depot, man, for coming in and helping us out big time. And then Naga, Naga, Naga.
Shout out to all my Nagas out there.
Yeah, facts. Mr. Smith and all the Naga members, Naga members, however you want to say it. Shout out to all of them for their support of this event. MD Arsenal out in Maryland, i.e. the MD.
That's right.
Gun Camp is who's tonight's live sponsor.
Them boys are some shooters.
Stanmore, man. Stanmore. My boy Joe. Gun store here in Illinois. Cute and Cocky Apparel.
Yes.
Sister down in Georgia doing her thing. Came on board recently. Man, big shout out to her. Our ugliest sponsors. It's a group of guys. They are ugly. But needless to say, they on board and they really decided to help out with this event. So I got to shout out to Tactical Turkeys. I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with these knuckleheads. That's what they. How you do that, bro? I put my fist this way.
There you go, just like that.
I don't feel right. That feel fruitcake-ish.
Damn.
Shout out to the
Damn.
Shout out to the Tactical Turkeys, though. And then Kick Up Dust will come in right now when I say that fruitcake-ish. He come in right then. Dust, what up?
Shout out, Donna.
Biggs.
What up, Biggs?
Thank you, man.
Red Phoenix, what up? James Wells,
good. I appreciate that.
David,
but shout out to the Turkeys. As a matter of fact, as we stand, they have the only full auto station set up at Range Day out in Nashville, man, which is gonna be super crazy, man. Shout out to Dude Knowledge Garage, part of the Turkeys. Boy got some. The boy is gone. You hear me? He out of here. He's the truth.
He's on.
So shout out to them guys, man. Also, there's more.
What up, Big Fish, little boat?
Obsidian Defense. Shout out to Obsidian Defense. $2, man. And the drip sauce. I didn't want to say drip sauce on here anymore because I felt like we're not old enough to hear about it. But
so you get
they are on board now as a sponsor. So $2 gonna come down to Nashville with a bunch of drip sauce. Lord, I hope don't nobody get in no trouble.
It's Dalcor Flavors, I believe. Dalcor Flavors.
Man, I call it drip sauce.
You know,
Dalcor Flavors is the official name. But to me, it's $2 in the drip sauce. Who else? Caliber Magazine.
Yes.
Just recently jumped on board. Big Beard Business. Big
Triple
Bang
B.
Business. My boy, that's my dog over there.
Triple B.
Man, B. Big Beard Business in the building, man. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. There's actually a couple more, but we'll get around to that later. Yeah. But shout out to everybody, man. To everybody that decided to get on board, man. Doesn't matter. Carbon Q, what's up, darling? Shout out to everybody that decided to come on board and help out with this thing, man. We are literally making history this year, and it's only going to get bigger. So I'm excited about all of that. Hood Neck, what up, dog?
What up, Hood Neck?
All right, David Banner, if I didn't speak to you prior, man, what's up? Big Fish, what up, chump? So, what happened?
I'm just reading his comment about his rear sight fell off his gun at 296 rounds. His shadow systems. That's what he said.
Yeah, he got a bootleg one.
What up, old meat?
He was shooting too hard.
Big honcho. Say he was shooting too hard, huh?
Oh, speaking of which, Hot Tub Tony, it's my boy. But listen, from now on in the live, we done switched it up. I don't know if we told everybody, but I want to tell y'all now. This is for the regulars. This is for everybody that's in the live on the regular. Sometimes you guys will say stuff that's a little suspect. And you get a pause. In the words of BP, we say pause, son. Right? Y'all all with me? That's what we do. You know, you say some suspect stuff. Hey, pause, bro. That was terrible. So we flipped it. We switched it up. We don't say pause no more. We say it different.
That's right. Say it different.
That's it. We changing the verbiage now. Now the whole internet gonna catch on. Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Say it different. So you're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that tonight because one of y'all gonna say something that's gonna be outlandish, and you're gonna need to say it different. Shout out to Hot Tub Tony for bringing that to the table. All right, I just wanted to put that out there, man. So now let's get to the matter at hand. I don't know how many likes we got, but I would appreciate it if you guys. Hey, James Wells, what up, bro? Listen, hey, James Wells, you're not gonna know what the hell I'm talking about right here. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, but I need to say it to you. It was some weird thing that happened, like a weird email that just flew out the sky one day. I'm not gonna even address it.
Right.
But the name, it mentioned your name, like you wasn't a real person.
Right.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
What up, OG?
So shout out to you, James Wells, for not being a real person, but being a real person.
Exactly. Shut up,
What the hell is they talking about?
You don't know what the hell you're talking about. What up, Hot Tub? You don't have a clue.
You know, what the hell are you talking about? So tonight's conversation is going to be about competition shooting. All right. Everything from how to get started, how it works, all of that. Now, this is something I absolutely plan to do when my eyes get better.
CDL, what up?
Right now, I'm not ready. Can't see a damn thing. But once my eyes get a little better, then I plan to enter into competition shooting myself. Also, I know it's a lot of you guys out here that do shoot competition currently, and we would never know that if you didn't tell us. But there's a few of you who I see mention it from time to time. Total Glock Boy being one.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight, this conversation is gonna kind of be, y'all's.
He's a good shooter.
And Donna, how you doing?
Yeah,
Donna Define Prepping. How are you, ma'am? Lewis Neely, if I haven't spoke to you.
What up, Lewis?
So, now, I'm myself, similar to prepping. This is another category or area that I'm trying to learn in as well. So I will be in class tonight with the other people that don't know a whole lot about competition shooting, asking my own questions. So I mean, that's it, man. So Zach, since you're up here with me,
what up?
Roro, what up?
What up, Roro?
How long you been doing competition shooting, bro? Detroit Red. What it do, dog?
I started in 2018.
Oh, you good. You an old competition shooter.
Yeah, I started in 2018. I started out.
Well, that really ain't that long ago.
No, it's not.
4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah, it's not. That's not.
Tactical Defense 247.
It's about 4 years this month, right? 4 years next month. We're getting ready to go into May.
Okay, so I'll ask you this. This is kind of like your little unofficial fake interview right now.
Mm-hmm.
What made you go into competition shooting? At what point did you say, man, I want to try competition shooting?
Honestly, I was just doing a lot of target shooting at the time. And I was on Facebook and my club, which I'm a member of now, I wasn't before. I had been looking to join the club anyway. And the way I found them was they advertised a steel challenge match. So I just got up the next day and went. That's what it was. I figured I could shoot on the range. I should be able to shoot steel challenge. So I just went and did it. I wanted to do it. And I was hooked after the first time.
Tactical Tina, what's going on, Miss Snob? How you doing? Jeffrey Light, what's up? Tactical Tina, that's my own girl right there, man. Tactical Tina, cool as a fan, boy. So I just put this comment up there. Brad Rush, aka Designer Tactical Gear, Extreme Tactical Gear. This is the brother, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, bro. Have y'all seen them dope ass vests and like the Louis vest, the designer vest, and all the designer tactical stuff that Twister and ET and them be having? For the bags. I don't want to promote the wrong thing, brother. You better correct me if I'm lying on you. But if I ain't mistaken, this is the brother that do that. If he ain't the brother that do that, I'm gonna need him to say he the brother that do that, so I don't look weird. But Norwood, the Bulls went all bad this year, brother. Could you not come in here and talk disrespectfully? I want to keep the live respectful tonight, Norwood, if you don't mind. Thank you, brother. Norwood, I don't know if you're a Philadelphia guy, but Philly will not come out the East. As a matter of fact, I already got a bet with Big Fish Little Boat. You're making me go off track on my live. Anybody else want to bet? I'm with it. The team that's coming out of the Eastern Conference is the Boston Celtics. Do anybody feel any other type of way? Let me know. We can talk about it off here. All right, let's get to it. But Mr. Rush, man, let me know, brother. So I didn't lie on you. If I lied on you, just say you lied on me. That's all you got to leave in the comments, man. And I will apologize. XD40D, what's up, man?
What up, XD? And people need to hit the like button. We're real far behind.
Oh, man. Let's hit the like button so we get back into this competition talk. Please, guys. Just hit the like button. It helps. It helps big time. So I'm matter of fact, I'm waiting on Mr. Rush to comment to let me know.
What up, running gun?
I run and gun. What's happening, man? Well, I take it he's a competition shooter.
Right, I think
Kingdom
so.
Defense, what's up?
Extreme Tactical Gear, Brad Rush. That's it?
So that's you? He was supposed to say if that's him.
He just put the thing.
You gotta say, yeah, that's me. Then put the at extreme stuff, man. God damn it, you know, I be trying to. Nah, Brad, now I got to argue with you and I don't even know you. Just okay, there we go. Yes, that's me. All right. Shout out Mr. Rush, man. Hey, them some dope ass bags, man. So that's the gentleman that we need to be. I'm gonna get me a bag too. I just, I don't think he got layaway, so y'all know how it is for me to take it, get around to it. But I'm gonna plug in with him, man. I need to get me a dope little, either a pistol bag. I gotta start small. I can't be like Twisted DT them. I need to get me a little pistol bag or something, man.
You want to get a little
Randolph Caldwell. He said Run and Gun has great content. Run and Gun. Hey, listen, this live is for you competition guys tonight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is my way of learning about competition and giving back to the guys that shoot competition, man. People don't want to talk about you guys all the time.
Total Glock boy out there asking for the link.
Who asked for the link?
Total Glock boy.
Oh, Total Glock boy want to come talk his stuff, huh?
He a shooter. I watched him. He Total Glock boy.
I'm not. This is not to find out who's a shooter. Okay, this is just to be, to help people that may want to enter into competition. But we do a little trash talk too.
But when I say he's a shooter, meaning that he should be able to help. He knows the rules and he knows what he's doing. He knows the game. He knows how it's played. That's what I mean when I say.
I just posted the link out there. So if you are a competition shooter,
what's up, tap in?
You watching this live and you're a competition shooter, or you have questions about competition shooting, click on the link and come in here. All right. As much as I like all you guys, I really don't want to just talk to you tonight, unless you're talking about competition shooting. All right.
Gardening?
Was that rude?
Nah.
Let me apologize in advance.
What up, 6.5P? That wasn't rude.
Urban Garden Chronicles, what up?
Somebody at the door.
I already spoke to Hot Tub. I spoke to Tap In, I think. 6.5, what up?
Mm-hmm.
So I got a couple guys here that I'm going to bring in, and we're going to get the chop. All right?
What up,
Black boy? Man, stop smiling like somebody finna take your picture, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody finna take your picture, man.
What up, man?
Go ahead on.
You got it.
Go ahead on.
Yeah, man.
Hold on.
I'm glad y'all found our running gun, man. He's actually one that got me started with this. There you go.
Peace.
Well, let me say
bro?
this. I didn't find Run and Gun. He just found me. But it's nice to meet you, brother. What's up?
What's going on? I can't say his real name, but I know him. I know him as I Run and Gun.
I know who that is. That's what I know his real name. I know who that is.
I
can't
can
say
spell it, but I cannot say
I can spell it. But I know who that is.
Well,
how y'all doing?
If y'all can't say it, hey, Mr. Rush, if you're talking to me, brother, man, I don't know how wide I am. Is it a size called real wide? That'll be my dimensions, real wide, and say it different. All right, let me get myself together, man. No, man, I'm gonna definitely get with you, bro. So what's up, man? My competition guys, what's to it?
Oh, not much, man. I say y'all know about me, man. I've been shooting competition.
No, I don't know about you. Don't you do that? Don't you come here talking about y'all know about me?
I'll say it's your fault, man. You know I follow you on Instagram, man. I've been waiting to follow me back, but you guys he never did it, man. I was like, man, man, I'm gonna get you.
What up?
Okay,
gentlemen, it's good to see you, man. I Run and Gun, brother. I appreciate you checking in with us. That's dope.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
man, I ain't been hearing. I've been hearing some good things about this brother. You was telling me about him, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Hey, you know what? I've been following him since like BGOE first started off. That was some years back. And I've been watching since, man. Total Glide Boy, be watching you too, brother.
I appreciate it, man.
I know him from Facebook. I Run a Gun from Facebook. That's why I'm like, he popped up on the screen. I'm like, wait a minute, I know him by a different name.
Yeah. I Run a Gun is a big part of the reason why I shoot right now. So he's the first black person I ever seen shooting competition, man. And
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. I actually looked at him a little funny the first time I did it. First time I noticed him.
Don't say you looked at him funny.
Say it different, man.
Say it different.
I tried it and I've been hooked ever since, man. Yeah, so I appreciate coming across it, man, on Facebook.
Randolph Caldwell he said, that's my dude. He's my dry fire idol.
Oh man, much respect, man. Much respect.
Hey man, where you from, bro? New York, I'm guessing.
Fighting for real.
You talking about me?
Yeah, you in New York?
Nah, I'm in Delaware, man.
Oh, that sounded real New Yorkish when you started talking. I was gonna get tight, man, because I'm so sick of New York people, man. I don't know what to do, man. I love New York, the city. I'm just sick of the people. It's just But no, I'm just messing around, man. I appreciate you checking in, brother. I want to educate some people, especially our brothers and sisters, man, on some of this competition shooting stuff, because I think it's dope. Now, I've never shot competition before. A lot of my buddies do it. A lot of people that I see around that I've started to meet on YouTube are doing it. And I want to learn more about it. And what can you tell people that are thinking about it and don't know where to start? What would you guys say to people?
What's that first move?
Yeah, what to do, what to look into? How can we train without just diving in the water?
For me personally, what I always tell people, first things first is you need to have some basic marksmanship, right? Within reason, you have to be able to hit a target. Right. So most of the targets in competition aren't difficult to hit if you were just standing in a range. What makes it hard is that you're trying to do it fast, right? So if you can reasonably hit a target out to 10 yards, maybe even 15, then that's enough accuracy just to get started. The second thing you're going to need to know is firearm safety and have that down ingrained hard, because there are going to be times that you're going to have your loaded firearm and you're going to be running towards a crowd of people. So your job is going to be to make sure that your muzzle is not pointed towards the crowd of people, right? So you might be moving up range, but your weapon has to stay down range. Not only that, when you're moving across the stage, you're going to have to make sure that your finger is off the trigger when it should not be in the trigger guard. So having that trigger finger discipline, having that muzzle awareness, and then just reasonable accuracy. You don't have to be a marksman or really even a really, really great shot to get started, because no matter what, you're going to get your butt kicked. So you might as well just get that butt kicking out of the way, just learn what you can learn, and then just start building from there.
Yeah, that's why I suggest to anybody that really wants to get started, the first thing you want to do is understand the range commands.
Right.
You want to. ask somebody to start in steel challenge, or maybe even if you got a Glock, shoot a GSSF match.
I agree.
Those would be the best places
So,
to actually start.
So you just flew past us real quick. Now, what is that match exactly?
The GSSF match.
Now you got to remember, Total Glock Boy, there's going to be people like myself that's not going to know any of that terminology and that don't know anything about competition shooting. So I want to kind of just school, kind of a 101 for those of us that don't know.
Okay, the GSSF matches, those are actually matches that go all the way around the country. That's sponsored by Glock. Glock actually puts on their own competitions. You have to go to gssf.com, and you can probably find a match sometime around your area at some point during the year. They're a little more expensive than your regular matches because they're kind of rare to come around. They give like really great prizes. My first time I went to a match, I actually won 2 free Glocks. And and the second time I went, I won another one. And I hadn't won any more since, but I still go back. They're really good. Yeah, if you're a first time shooting one, your chances of actually winning a free Glock are pretty high if you actually go there.
Right.
As a new member. Like I say, there's no running around at these matches. You're just standing there with your gun at the low ready. They say shooter ready, stand by, you go. You just raise your gun up and shoot the array of targets. There's no running around. It's a good way to get familiar with all the range commands and all the safety aspects of being in a competition. It's similar to steel challenge, except most of it's paper. Right. And I say that is a really good way for anybody that's kind of apprehensive about it. They look at what's on my Instagram page or what's on our Running Guns page, and you say, "Oh man, that might be a little intimidating." But if you're intimidated by that, starting with steel challenge and GSF matches, it requires minimal equipment, and it's very easy to get into with low cost.
So you got to answer my next question. I was going to say, if somebody wanted to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead on, jump in and give it a shot. You guys would recommend perhaps starting the steel challenge or the GSFS?
GSSF, Me. Actually, jumping into USPSA would not be too much, but I know some people would be intimidated by it.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. First time I did IDPA, which is another version of USPSA, but it's a lot. I know.
Drop that premium.
I run a gun, don't like IDPA. I know that about him. He doesn't like that's a sore subject with him, IDPA. But first time I did it, I completely ignored the fault lines. They laughed at me, but they took the time to teach me up. And I say those guys are real good to me. They don't be intimidated by it. And just realize you're not going to win the first time.
Is that me or is that Total Glock Boy sound?
I think it's Total Glock Boy. I thought it was me for a while too.
Hey, Total Glock Boy, you got some static. I don't know if something is covering your phone or.
Yeah, keeps popping in and out, sort of.
What about now?
Some type of static going on.
Okay, well, I'll be quiet. You be for a minute.
Okay.
All right.
Drop that link if you can. I got somebody very impressive that wants to jump in and chop it up with everybody.
Just a heads up too. My favorite sport is USPSA, but it's definitely the most demanding. You're gonna have the best shooters. It's gonna be more complex, higher round counts, harder targets, the whole nine. But there's a bunch of brothers and sisters that I go with, myself and Kwesi Asante, another instructor. And if you're in driving distance of Sothersville, Maryland, and you want to come out and you know those things that I talked about earlier, we can reasonably hit a target and we know how to be safe with a gun. You can come shoot with us at the match for free, and we'll coach you up and help you the best we can. We don't charge anything for that. So each week we might have between 5 and 8 total brothers and sisters, shooting together. And some of them are brand new. Some of them have been shooting for a little bit, and we're just helping them kind of so that they're not going by themselves. Because when you go there aren't going to be many people that look like us.
No, there aren't.
So
let me ask you a question.
Somebody that looks like you that you can trust, and that's going to help you along the way.
That name that you just said, is he a member of NAGA?
I don't believe so. He might be in one of the groups, but I don't think he's a member.
All right. I know that we were talking about the curriculum that they're going to be putting into movement. And I thought that was the name that he said that Philip had mentioned. I could be wrong, though.
Nah,
that
was a kid.
Billy, who was coming in?
Billy.
Rob. Rob is a grandmaster in USPS.
The machine is there.
GM's in the building. The big dogs.
For real.
What's up, guys?
Rob, what's up, my brother? How you feel?
I'm doing great, man. Sorry it's a little dark. I'm driving to my fiance's house, but we're on our way.
Rob, dark skin, man. He's what's going on, Rob? How you doing, man?
On Instagram, the man is a machine.
Doing great. Doing great. Glad to be here. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Right now, wait a minute, man. Right now, I just all of a sudden started feeling like a real shooter, man. So right now I'm amongst some demons right now with these pistols, man.
Some
big
beasts.
time competition guys.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
So, this is a great question from Tactical Defense. What's a good pistol to start competition shooting or start practicing with?
The one you have.
Exactly, the one you
That's
own.
the answer.
Don't buy anything.
Yep, use the one you have. Start out with that.
Every sport has its own rules, and within that sport has its own division, which has their own rules. And you'll mess around and buy a gun that you intend to buy. Like these people are buying staccatos with the comp and everything else. Like, yeah, I'm going to run this in competition.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Open. You're an open.
Because if you do, yes, you're going to be an open, and you're going to be against real 2011s that cost $6,000 and up that make your little staccato seem like a little cheap paper gun.
And you're not
like my Alice guns unlimited.
You're not going to want to come back.
You're not going to have a good time. Exactly.
Right.
Well, damn. So, Rob, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. How long you been shooting competition?
Well, what do you got? What do you guys want to know? I started shooting 2008, and I got into the defensive world in like 2011, and taught there for a while. Started doing, taking classes and always doing at the top of the classes. I took some classes with like guys like Frank Proctor, Travis Haley, and Tactical Performance Center. They started to blend the lines of personal protection and competitive shooting, performance-based shooting. And then it's like, well, now I have to compete. Now it's like the next thing, So that was spring 2018, and yeah, here I am today. Hit GM last year and took 18th at nationals. Production nationals.
The man is a machine.
I try.
Yeah,
well, thank you guys.
We sat and watched you like a week ago, and it was just. I mean, it could have been. You could have been in the dark with your eyes closed. You were just on it.
I said, how is he doing the exact same thing over and over and over again?
So
that's what it is, man.
Guys, and we know they are amazing shooters. How can people that might want to go check these guys out? Just how can people find you guys? I'm gonna get to that first. I usually save that for the end, but how can we get in touch or follow you on IG or wherever so people can go check you guys out?
So for me, like I said, IG is at Rob Epifania. That's the best place to reach me typically. So
I can't spell that no matter how hard I try.
Epifania.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not, it's harder to pronounce than it actually. Well, it's easier to pronounce than it actually is. People make it much more complicated.
Okay.
But yeah, so I can actually, while I'm in here, I don't know if I could drop a chat. I'll do it right here.
You know what?
We'll get it.
RGG, if you take off that comment at the bottom from Tactical Defense. There you go.
There you go. You can see me now.
Yeah, and it's showing. My bad. Grandmaster. I heard somebody say you're a grandmaster. Now, yes. what I'm two questions. What is a grandmaster, and how do you become a grandmaster for those of us that may not know what it is? Or
so in USPSA and in Steel Challenge, they have different classifications, right? Your classification is based off of standards, like standard type stages. So they set them up, people run them at nationals, and then they create what they call like a high score, so to speak. It's called a high hit factor, but it's essentially a high score. And when you shoot these in local matches, right, they give you diagrams, how to set up everything according to spec and this and that. When you shoot them at local matches or at any match that has them, it inputs your score into a national database, right? So basically speaking, you have several different classes. You have D class, C, B, A, Master, Grandmaster, right? Grandmaster scoring, it means the average of your last 6 classifiers that you shot is over 95%, meaning you're 95% or above on these standardized scoring. You get the average of the 6, right? 6 of the last 8. So technically speaking, from a skill standpoint, I'm in the top 5% in the country with in terms of that scoring. That makes sense.
Translation: you a shooting mother. Shut your mouth.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's basically what we saying here.
I shoot a lot of shit. I'll put it that way.
No, that's dope, man. I appreciate you stopping by. I run and gun, man. This is the thing. My fly family here, fat guy with guns. My buddies. They pound you guys' name in my head so much that it's like, well, damn, man. One day I need to meet these guys because I want to see what this is all about. I ain't gonna lie. I went and watched a little bit of something, man, and I almost gave up shooting. y'all that good, man. Like I really almost gave these. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, these guys are the truth.
Appreciate that, man.
Long way to go for some of us.
Yeah, for sure. But I really want to get people introduced to it. I know someone asked earlier, can you come to matches and just watch?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's free to watch.
Okay. Because
but if you watch, you probably want to shoot.
I'm sure. Now, when you guys start talking about, like you say, being in that top, now I'm asking my own personal questions here. You start talking about being in that top 5 in the country type thing, top 5%. You're going up against, I'm guessing, other grandmasters. Is that how that's working?
What about?
It's essentially whoever has the highest score on the stage, right? So initially, how they do it at nationals, they take the top 10 scores and they average that, and that becomes the high score for that classifier, right? Okay. And typically speaking, the top 10 are they're going to be high level guys, So it's a very challenging benchmark to hit, but for anybody who spends a good amount of time practicing, and if you're practicing the right stuff, you're gonna improve and you're gonna keep growing, and then it comes to a point where your skills are there, and now the mental side has to really take effect. Yes. Because you have to be able to do this on one run in the match, right? You're not allowed makeups. Like you have to be able to connect what you're about to do with what you actually do. And that's the hard part. The hard part is really the mental side of it, like being able to bring all that performance in one shot.
Wow, man.
So let me ask you guys a quick question.
Yeah.
I know Delaware, decently gun-friendly state. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just can't have suppressors, but there's no magazine capacity. It's an open carry state, all those things.
All right, good. And Rob, you're in Long Island.
Yes, unfortunately.
He's a New York guy.
I'm still surprised that he's in New York. It might. I'm shocked.
There's a big gun culture in New York, believe it or not.
How easy is it for you guys to actually be able to train? And how often, are you guys out there twice a week, 3 times a week?
So for me, I'm a member of a private club on Long Island. It's called Long Island. Oh shit! Hold on one second. That's extremely loud. I'm a member of Long Island Practical Shooting Association, and that's a private club, so I can train there any time of the week I want. So I'm usually there like I'm there, and this time I was January to April, it's like once a week. April to July, it's like 2 times a week, and then July to October, it's 3 times a week. Plus classes if I'm doing classes, plus matches, that kind of stuff. So it's actually pretty easy to train. It's just a matter of making the time to go out there.
Yeah,
that's really it. As far like New York itself, if you sunk New York City into the ocean, New York would be like anything else, any other free state.
Yeah. Could be.
That's how I say it, man. That's how I say it every time. Like sink New
true.
York City into the ocean.
It's true.
Just
Wow.
leave them.
And
that sounds like Chicago. We sink Chicago into the lake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So now in Delaware, all the same thing with New York, but Delaware, like I'm in Georgia now. I grew up in Long Island, but I never really was into firearms, and I lived in Maryland also, and I still didn't come across it. So I didn't really know, that type of life existed. Now in Delaware, you guys do have a long, cold season. Does that slow you down and force you inside? I know I see a lot of videos of you posting dry fire drills, like a bazillion videos of it. But are you able to get outside as much as you want to?
Yeah, it just really depends on what you have access. I also belong to 3 different private clubs. So usually the private clubs, if you're really knee deep into competition shooting or just shooting in general, private clubs are going to typically be better because they're going to allow you to do things you can't do at your public range, whether that's draw, rapid fire, shoot multiple targets, move, or what have you. So usually it's just the weather and how cold I want to get and what I want to put up with. But I've shot in the snow, and there's been other days where I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. And I belong to another range that's a 24/7, so I can go late at night where it's just me and just shoot indoors. And I can move around a little bit.
24/7?
Yeah, they give you a key and you just go when you want.
You don't have that here.
Wow. I've never heard of that before.
I would be there all the time.
Steve says not cheap to pursue. I imagine there are fees to enter. For you guys to be able to practice so much, what would be practical for some of the people that's, living, working every day? Everybody don't know the avenues to get to ammo, because I know you guys got to run through tons of ammo.
Yeah, man.
50,000 a year, man.
Jeez.
50,000.
Got
me.
That's a lot.
But I imagine with you guys being in competition and being well known in the industry, you get some connects, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
That's for the GMs.
That's not necessarily true. Like I started getting sponsored when I was A class, though, to be honest.
Well, yeah, around that area, you start getting some nibbles, yeah.
Yeah, you start getting something. Hey, listen, it all helps.
It's not. It's not easy to get into A class. That's a challenge too.
That's a challenge.
Classes. I like to hear about this.
Sure.
This is always funny to me, not being a competition shooter, because I'd be offending some of the other competition shooters. So all the D students, is that kind of where everybody start? Is like a D student, like you're almost failing?
Well, it depends, right? So like me personally, I started B class. Like my initial classification was B class. So and then I went B class, and about 6 months I was A class, and then I stayed at A class for I want to say it was a year. And then I was master class for just about 8 months or something like that. And then I finally hit GM. I was top 20 before I was GM at nationals. So the classification, it means something, but it doesn't mean as much as people make it out to be, which also causes them to be super tense and nervous when they're actually shooting classifier, because it matters,
Okay.
So they want it to matter, and it's they get all nervous about it. But once you stop worrying about that, and once your skill has taken enough hold that you can perform on that first run, it takes care of itself eventually.
Now, are most of those like where you guys are shooting similar competitions, are the stages are they always pretty much the same?
No.
They're always different, pretty much.
They're always different. Yeah.
That's where I get nervous, and I'd rather do Steel Challenge, because USPSA seems like there's no, format to it. You got to learn it as you go.
Steel Challenge is the same way, because you have outlaw stages, and then you also have your classifiers. You have your Smoke and Hope and Accelerator and things like that they classify you on. But then you go places where they'll just set up a bunch of different stuff. Some guy will sit down and say, "Hey, this seems like it's safe and it's fun." And and you go and you shoot that. But then during those matches, because I do that at my club, I'm a member of a club too. When we have our steel challenge matches, they'll have a bunch of stuff they set up. And then they'll have 2 classifiers off on the side somewhere where you got to go do so you can get you some real numbers in the books to go towards your actual ranking.
Yeah.
Steel challenge is based off of time.
Mm-hmm.
They have what's called peak time. So the peak times are published, and then if you beat the peak times, on depending on how close you are to the peak time, depends on if you're D, B, C, A, master, so on and so forth.
Oh, so these qualifiers are different depending on the type of matches you're shooting. Am I hearing that right?
So it's a little different in steel challenge. It's similar in the sense that it's a percentage. So if your peak time is 100, and if you're 110, right, you're at 90%, kind of thing, right? 100 divided by 110, and that would give you your percentage basically.
Okay.
I haven't shot steel challenge in a long time though.
I watched you. I would think that you would go there and tear it up though.
Yeah. Damn sure.
At this point, probably, but it's been a while. It's been a while. So steel challenge is nice because it's really like family oriented. Like you can bring a lot. Like there are a lot of young kids that do it. It's very low key, and the rules are not like as complex in terms of like what you have to do as it is in USPSA. So like steel challenge, you have 5 runs, you take the best 4 or 5 and you add it together, and you're doing it from the draw, and it's simple. Like if you want to get into something that's simple, steel challenge is fun. Knockdown steel is a lot of fun too, but they don't have like a full like classification system for knockdown steel. It's just like go there and shoot a bunch of steel down and then go home kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I run what do you shoot USPSA?
I shoot USPSA. Oh, I'm sorry if that was for Mr. Run and Gun there.
No, you're fine. Excuse me. I do, but I'm technically not a competition shooter anymore. I still shoot it probably once a month just because I like some of the things that it offers and challenge you, but I don't practice for it anymore.
Okay.
So I don't do any competition practice. I'll just show up. I literally show up with my EDC. I shoot everything from concealment with my regular EDC setup. I don't use any competition gear. It's what I would carry, the gun and setup that I would carry to the grocery store is what I use.
Interesting. Leads me to a good question. What is that? What gun is that? You don't mind
Glock 45.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Nothing fancy. It's just, and Glock, and people get mad at me when I say this, but Glock doesn't make
put it down, Rob. Hold on. Put it down.
Rob, put that down, Rob. Put that down, Rob.
Yeah, you can't show that on the live.
You can't hold a gun up on the live.
Oh, I can't. Oh shit.
No.
I don't know.
Now, Rob, you already did it, but it's cool.
Leave it to me. Leave it to me to mess it up for everybody.
What was that?
What was that?
That's
That was
the
nothing.
Atlas.
That's the Atlas. That's the Atlas Artemis.
That's the Artemis.
Artemis.
Making those staccatos run for cover and cry.
Look, RGG not laughing now. We're talking about that. I don't even want to.
CZ Mitchell, what up?
What up, CZ Mitchell?
CZ Mitchell, my man.
So the gun snob question to Rob is irrelevant.
Yes.
Don't even ask it.
And it's crazy because it's just a tool.
Right.
It's just a tool. The Atlas Artemis, I don't even know what
100%.
Right.
$6,000.
What? And you flex it like you got one, but I know you don't got one because I seen more than one.
Right. I saw him show his backup on IG.
There's 2 in there. There's 2 in that case.
So now let me ask you guys a question. What was that first gun that you did compete with?
That's a good question.
Glock 17.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was an M&P.
Really?
Glock 17.
Yep.
So a couple of regular guns.
Springfield
Yeah.
XDM. The Springfield XDM.
So I started with the M&P because that originally my intent was to go from concealment also, but our range didn't allow in the waistband holsters. It was just a range rule at the time. So production ended up being the next thing. Shot the M&P for a couple months. I trained with Robert Vogel. I went to his place in Ohio, and then I asked him the question, and this is a good question that a lot of people might ask it, when they're getting into it. I had said, should I keep my gun stock? Should I upgrade this gun, or should I get like a Shadow 2? Right? Like more of a USPSA gun. So for Glock, it might be the 34, right?
Yeah.
And his answer to me is what caused me to buy a Shadow 2 in the next week, because someone had one for sale for it was like $1,000 or something like that. And, it was a good price and had a couple hundred rounds to it. So I ended up buying it. But he said, whatever you get, you're going to end up growing with and adapting with. Mm-hmm. So, whether you upgrade your gun now, whether you switch to a different gun, like you're going to grow with it. So you don't have to wait to this certain arbitrary mark if you want to start moving ahead. And then I shot the Shadow 2 for it was up until the end of last season, and I actually switched over to Canics for production because I like the balance of them a little better.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Really,
dude.
Good choice. Dude,
I love the Atlas guns. They're amazing, right? They're a piece of work, a piece of artwork. But the Canics are amazing too.
Oh,
so it's true. I train with the Canic every Monday, right? So I did an Instagram live on Monday. And I do it about once a week, and I was training with a Canic. Like, listen, man.
Listen to this man right here. He speaks the truth.
I like him.
He speaks the truth. I like this man.
Which Canic right now are you practicing with?
TP9 SFX.
That's the way to go.
So it gets even better because I traded my Shadow 2 that I trained with. It probably had 90,000 rounds on it. Still ran. Still was working very well. And I traded it for 2 of them.
Look at that, man.
That's right.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. So
a regular SFX.
Yep, yeah. TP9 SFX.
Yeah, those over there.
I'm about to start shooting competitions Friday.
Now,
those over there.
For you guys with the Canics, right? The parts that you put in that are very good for it. Mm-hmm. They have the Freedom Smith trigger kit.
Brother, I preach this Freedom Smith gospel, bro.
That's why I shoot
in my competition.
Freedom Smith. It works. Taylor Freelance brass backstrap, Springco striker spring, and recoil system, or you do the tungsten guide rod and the 14-pound recoil spring or something like that.
This man knows.
Doesn't need a lot.
Damn notes, because I do have a SFX.
Yep.
That
guy with guns just sent me my
everything.
They don't listen to me, Rob. They don't listen to me.
Because you're not Rob. You're not a grandmaster. You are.
No, I'm not a grandmaster.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't know his stuff, though. You don't have to be a grandmaster to know your shit.
I've been preaching the Canic gospel.
Get my note.
Rob, just
so you know, I run a gun.
I'm a team, man.
Is there any upgrades that you had to do, like, any type of trigger work or, just to get you out there quicker when you're running, match or even just training?
What you're going to find is that I'm not saying the gun doesn't matter, but it's a smaller percentage than some people will make it seem to be. Like Rob's out there kicking people's butt with a Canic, and I'm sure they have, guns. Like he said, he traded 1 gun for 2, right? And he's still beating them I'm beating people with a Glock, and they have, same thing, shadows and Tanfos and stuff like that. So it's more the shooter than anything. Yes. If you want to upgrade your gun, fine. If not, fine. I remember I had a Glock 17. I had like a 3-pound trigger, and I had all these things in it. And I left my gun one day at a match. Of course, everybody has a Glock. I borrowed a bone stock Glock 17 and shot it at the match. While I was shooting, I could barely tell the difference. Now, I could tell with the trigger just because I was paying more attention because I knew it wasn't my gun. But once you're really shooting, a lot of that stuff, you can barely tell.
And the better you get, the less it matters, and the more the gear actually. It's kind of like counterintuitive, but the gear doesn't matter as much. But then when you do make actual gear choices, they're informed and they actually help you even more in a sense, right? You're not buying things just to put a part in to say, "Oh, I'm going to get better with this."
Right.
It's like it's like an F1 driver, right? An F1 driver is still going to beat you in your street car,
Yeah.
He's still going to kick your ass. It's just the name of the game, right?
It's the man on the trigger, not the gun. Told you.
Exactly.
That is good information, man. And you really impressing me with the bone stock Glock 17, man. Because I'm at the range last week. Because as long as ain't no competition shooters around, I be talking big shit when I go to the range. And I was shooting my 19X, versus my X5 Legion, and I'm just not as good with that 19X.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, this damn gun don't shoot as good as the other one, but apparently I just don't shoot good enough. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm on point, I should be able to, at least be presentable with that 19X as well. I just need more practice.
Yeah. The more expensive fancy gun will typically hide your fundamentals more if you have an issue than the quote unquote cheaper gun. So if your fundamentals are good, there's a guy in my area, Matt Hempel, right? He's a GM.
I was just talking to Matt.
Yeah, so Matt recently was shooting SPO1s for the longest time, and for a few matches he was shooting a Glock. So he went from a heavy CZ gun to a light, Tupperware gun. And I was like, so tell me the truth, man. Is there a huge difference? He was like, man, if my fundamentals, I grip it right, there's not a huge difference.
The only thing you're going to notice between those two guns is the weight difference. So it's the same thing with the Canic and the Atlas guns. Like the Canic moves around like a little laser beam, which is great for transitions, right? Your transitions are like point to point very fast, right? Your draws get a little faster, but the penalty is that it doesn't tolerate grip inconsistency very well.
So whereas the issue that I have is I have a 2011. The grip is just too wide, and I just can't get comfortable with this thing.
Hey bro, say it different.
Okay, I have a double stack 1911.
Okay, that's a little better.
Cool, better. The grip module.
He's trying to fit into the conversation. I got a 2011.
I got this 2011 that I usually. So either way, it's too wide. So I feel so much comfortable with the Canic.
Stubby fingers, man.
Yeah. I just can't get with it. I can't shoot well. I can't get comfortable shooting out. Did you guys go through that transition, like to where the grip is really that much of a difference, or are you really not feeling it?
I'll tell you in my experience. So I ran the Shadow 2s for a couple of years, and I ran lock grips on there with palm swells. And then I trained with one of my coaches. I shot his 2011 guns. And we were talking about, for me, I have bigger hands. So he said that it agrees with me well, and I transitioned the gun better. And what I learned also is that the palm swells actually cause your transition, your index to shift a little bit when you're moving the gun around. So what I actually did is I went to a thicker grip that was similar to a 2011 profile, very wide. And for me, that fixed that. The CZ Shadow 2s are for me a little too thin. Right. So there's an ideal preference. That doesn't mean that you can't do well with anything, but when you have the choice, right? And again, as your skill goes up, you'll start to notice these things where you can make smarter choices that are going to give you more results because you know what you're looking for very specifically. So it's common for people to kind of go through that transition also, where they start to come back to the fundamentals with a newer and more enlightened understanding. Right. So now they look at it entirely different. It informs different choices in terms of training and gear.
Good. Yeah. Eddie Tactical, what's up, brother?
Hey, what up, Eddie?
I happened to be at the range, I guess, about a couple weeks ago or so with the legendary rapper Twister, right? And
nice.
Pretty good shooter. I'm messing. The guy can actually shoot.
Say it different. Say it different.
He's pretty good with that staccato, killing it with the iron sights. And he's giving me a lot of game at the range, just because I was struggling with one of the guns. Like I'm shooting a staccato P, I believe it was, with a red dot on it. And I'm not used to shooting with dots. So, I'm really been shooting for a long time, but never learning the correct fundamentals, basically. So now that I'm starting to try to learn more, I was kind of struggling shooting, that gun with the sight, like with the red dot on it. And I mean, he's taking the gun and nailing it every time. Boom, boom. I'm shooting, and every time my group is tight, but I'm shooting a little low and left.
Mm-hmm.
But my eyes are telling me that the dot is on the target that I'm aiming at. Can somebody help me, man, before I need counseling?
You're right-handed, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you my thoughts in a minute.
Okay. So I struggled with that. Even my first time shooting, well, not first time, but just starting out shooting red dot with the red dots on. Now, you guys prefer red dots or irons?
Dots.
I'm an iron shooter.
Okay.
But I try to shoot irons like a red dot.
Well, now explain that.
So red dots, the benefit to a red dot is that you can keep both eyes open and focus on the target, right? That's the whole point. You can't see the dot with both eyes, so to focusing on the target allows you to be able to use your vision to guide the gun faster, right? And more precisely, right? Now, iron sights, typically people were taught to focus on their front sight, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's incorrect thinking if you want to shoot at a high performance level. So you want to focus on the target still, right? Now you could still see the outline of your sights. Like if you're at a range, right, and you look at a target, you put your gun on the target and you focus on the target, you're still going to see the alignment of your sights. It's just going to be blurry, but it's clear enough for you to make out, even if it's 50 yards away. But what you get is now you get your sight picture, right? You have sight alignment, which is the alignment of the front and rear sight. Then your sight picture is how it's imposed on the target. Your sight picture now stays much more precisely on target versus drifting when you pull your focus, shift your focal depth into the gun, right? So the way that I try to shoot irons like a red dot is I use the fiber optic of the front sight, and I use that as a red dot. That requires your index, everything to be fundamentally as close to perfect as possible.
Gotcha.
But when you could do that, you could shoot a lot more predictably and immediately. That's why I can do what I do.
I heard Steger talking about shooting like that, and the first time I heard him talk about it, my mind was blown. He was like, he shoots every target focus, regardless of size, distance, and difficulty. He does not shoot, and he's multiple-time national champion USPSA in production.
And not only that, his alpha count is insane compared to other people.
Wow.
You know, USPSA, right? Alpha, Charlie, Delta, like those are the three scoring zones.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha is 5 points. Charlie in production is 3 points. Delta is 1. The typical proportion you're looking to get to is 3 alphas for every other. So every Charlie or Delta gets 3 alphas minimum, right? That's a minimum. You want more if possible. He's usually up around 6 or 7. So he's essentially doubling that, and he shoots target focused all the time. And he's not slow either. Right. I mean, he's one of my coaches too. So, and he coached Mr. Run and Gun too quite a bit.
And
it blew my mind when he said that. I'm like, wow.
It's awesome. It helps out so much. But to get back to your low and left question, right? Typically speaking, right-handed shooter pushes low and left because of firing hand tension, right? So what happens is they're about to fire.
Say that again, Rob. You cut out.
I'm sorry.
Say that again.
They push low and left because this hand tenses.
That's exactly what Twister said too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the most common correction I give to people who are shooting two-handed is actually to tighten the left hand even more and rotate the elbow in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what that does is that creates more resistance to that firing hand wanting to push. Right. Additionally speaking, what I tell people to do with their firing hand is I tell them to grip tighter with these bottom 2 fingers here. Right. And what that does is that locks the wrist in place. And if the gun is in the right spot in the hand, when you press the trigger, there's a backstop to the trigger weight. This is getting like super nerd engineering shit. Like that's what I do.
I'm listening to hell too.
But when you have that, when you have the gun is solid in your hand and you're gripping, you're crushing with the support hand, you have this little bit of pressure towards the bottom of your firing hand, right? Now, when you move the trigger, the gun is a lot straighter, right? Because what happens is your gun is snug in the hand, right? and your finger can now move harder without the gun moving at all. It's hard to do. It takes time, but when I teach people in online lessons, this is usually the first thing we go through is what we call trigger control at speed, where you're learning how to press the trigger harder and harder without moving the gun at all. Because when we're actually shooting at practical paces, we're not pressing the trigger with this gentle 5 pounds at a 5 pound press, right? We're pressing probably almost twice as hard. So by learning how to press the trigger twice as hard without having the gun move, right? It allows you to have a much better grip. You're testing your grip in dry fire too, right? And now you have the confidence to know that shot's going to go where you want it to go.
That sounds like something that I heard early on from Rob Latham.
Yes, Rob Latham. Aiming is useless. Look up that video, right?
Yep, that's exactly
it. I looked that up way back in the day.
Yep,
aiming is useless. Man.
Well,
look, wait, Tony Black Boy is so in his glory.
Right, look at
he's in his glory.
He's loving this. He's getting some great information.
This is great, man.
So let's talk to you. Say you guys often work with people that are newer to competition, and essentially what Running Gun was saying is if you can reasonably be on target at 10-15 yards, you can get started. Okay, what's some of the first things that you tell people that's absolutely new to it, right? Like, because I know one of the things that was new to me, this is going to be like super elementary to you guys, but for me, the first time it happened to me, Eddie Tactical, who out there now, I was shooting with him, and I'm so used to going to the range, whether it's indoor, outdoor, standing in my spot, right, loading up my firearm, getting my aim and shooting. So he said, no, actually, we're going to have you point out and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have you point out, double tap, and let's kind of see what you get. And to me, at that point, that was something like the hardest shit in the world. Like, I'm like, why would he do that to me? That's terrible. But when I thought about it, in whatever situation you're in, you're never going to just be able to stand there and get yourself together.
Correct.
So at some point, you're going to have to draw. Somewhere along the line, you got to point and shoot. So it made a lot of sense to me. Now, what do you tell people that's kind of new to that realm of things?
Well, like, so in my first level class, I do a lot of that stuff. So presenting the gun, recoil, control, accuracy, fundamentals, like those things are all important. In my classes, what we do is we work on presentations, which is what you're talking about. And then we work on what we call acclimation to recoil. Acclimation to recoil is probably one of the most important things that we can learn and master to be good shooters for whatever reason we shoot, right?
Okay.
So acclimation is essentially being comfortable with the sight, the sound, the feel of the gun, right? Everything that's happening, and basically being emotionless and not disturbing the gun at all. That's an important concept for most people who are newer. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a brand new shooter or not. Like this kind of thing helps people out a lot. Most people can aim, but the problem is most people, once someone fires, right? Once they think they're going to fire, they do something to disturb the gun. They move it some way, right? And then after that, we go into like precision. So like I'll shoot 1-inch circles at like 3 to 4 yards. Simulates like an 8-inch plate at 25. And then what we'll do is recoil control. So getting comfortable with the gun and recoil, right, is a big advantage, especially in competitive shooting or even defensive, right? So most encounters are within 3 yards, 3 to 5 yards, if I remember correctly. So being able to present the gun fast, being able to fire an accurate shot quickly, and being able to control recoil are 3 of the most important things that we can deal with. And then it's just about getting the gun out of the holster, right?
Yeah.
So from a competitive standpoint, that's not super important. It just has to be fast enough. So right around, fast enough for us is about a second at 7 yards. Firing an accurate shot. Teach it. I'm reading this question now. Recoil is after. Yes. Yeah, you don't feel, by the time the slide starts moving, the bullet's already left the barrel. Right. You know, like if you look at slow motion video, the bullet has already left, and then the slide is just starting to move backward. Something that I teach in class, I actually show them in class, is if you start aimed on target and you literally fire a shot and yank the gun off target, but you wait until after that point, it's actually hard to yank the gun off target. It's really hard. But it's interesting. It teaches people what's happening, right? They're usually pushing the gun before they fire, whereas we're waiting until just the fraction of a second after where the bullets left the barrel. You know.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I see. I watch both of you train, and dry fire. Your head does not move. Like you're up. Your neck is straight. There's no lean to it. There's no motion. It's straight up and down. But on the go in USPSA, your shoulders are moving. You got to get to that next, target. Do you feel yourself trying to, straighten yourself back up? I know a lot of the shooting is around, is there a right way to shoot, and how can you train for that without being at the range?
So if you watch a lot of my stuff too, I do a lot of movement-based training. So I'm moving around all the time, right? I'm blending positions. I'm moving from one spot to another. I'm doing a lot of that with the intent of really, at that point, I'm paying attention to my lower body, and I'm kind of letting my upper body be on autopilot because I've trained a lot of static transitions, right? All the static work. Now I have the upper platform good, and now I just pay attention to the lower platform and how they interface together, right? So I don't. My head, my upper body stays as similar as I can make it.
Yeah,
and that's just through a lot of practice, right? Like you want to keep your shoulders relaxed, you want to keep your head fast. Your head and eyes are always moving to the next target as fast as possible, and you can't do that without being relaxed.
Okay.
Right. The only place where I have a lot of tension is from my elbows down, where I'm actually gripping the gun hard. I hope that answers the question.
Definitely.
Man, this is good. Everybody focus, man. This is real good. I really want to go back to the stuff you put on the Mechanic. I didn't get to write it down. I just found my pen.
Oh yeah, sure. So you can go to Stonebridge Gunworks.
Stonebridge Gunworks.
They should have all these parts. If not, Freedom Smith sells their trigger separately too. So I have the Freedom Smith Racer trigger shoe. I have the Taylor Freelance brass backstrap, so that adds a little weight and makes it a little more balanced. I have the Springco competition trigger spring kit or something like that. So it's a trigger spring, and then it's the striker spring. And then I have so in one gun I have the Springco recoil system. In the other gun I have a tungsten guide rod with a 14-pound, I want to say it's a commander sized recoil spring. And I did on mine, I personally did a silicon carbide job. So I mean, that shit works, man. Like you spend $40 and it'll do 10 guns. It takes you 20 minutes to do. Like there's a very good tutorial on YouTube. You can search silicon carbide DIY, and the guy is doing it on a Mechanic.
Where'd you get your guide rod? Gray Guns?
Nope, Stonebridge.
Stonebridge? All right.
Stonebridge, yeah. Vincent is the dude's name. Super nice, super knowledgeable, and he's pretty good about answering questions. I think he has a live chat too, like on his website, so you can ask him questions. He'll get back to you. He's really, really nice guy.
This is some good stuff, man. With the dry fire and running gun, how important is dry fire? Because you got some amazing stuff going on, man.
Well, to me, man, it's your foundation. So it's kind of like taking a test without actually studying, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like going to take a test on history, math, and whatever else, and you haven't studied. So this is the way I look at dry fire versus live fire. So dry fire would be your study time. So you study your history, your sciences, and your math or whatever. And when you go to the range to practice, that's the test, right? So the target is going to give you some feedback and let you know where you're deficient or where you're doing really well, right? And then you take that, your test results and go back to dry fire and start applying that to what you need to adjust, if anything. So to let you know whether or not that dry fire is translating to actual live fire. But even guys that get free ammo, and have ranges in their backyard still dry fire because it's condensed practice. So you don't have to reload magazines. You don't have to fix targets. You don't have to do any of that because you're not firing the gun, hopefully, right?
Right.
So you're going to get a ton of reps in a shorter amount of time. So it's just condensed practice. So most of the things that you can do that don't involve recoil management, you can do at home without leaving your house.
Interesting.
Not saying the range isn't important.
Oh, absolutely.
But that dry fire is just, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can instantly tell who dry fires and who doesn't by the way they handle their gun.
Y'all drop. So, and this is the other thing I was going to ask this a few minutes ago. You guys are great shooters. You shoot competition, you do your thing. But I noticed that you said we talk about a gentleman and you said he's one of my coaches or he trains me. So you guys are still actively being trained in training because you can always get better no matter how good you are.
Oh, we have goals, man.
Man.
And I'm just average, so I'm just an average guy trying to get by. So I have a lot that I can learn, a lot that I can improve on. So if somebody knows something and somebody has experience, I'm all ears. I don't have that kind of ego. Listen,
you just insulted
teach me,
a lot
help
of us,
me,
man. Because if you're average, that's it. I'm done with this.
He's humble.
Well, that's the thing too.
When we were talking about being GM, I'm only a B class. So I'm B class from concealment. B class is not, it's right in the middle. So that means I'm average, right?
But it's B class from concealment, so it's a little bit better than that.
Right.
Yeah, but it's still B class.
He's being humble.
Yeah.
Now, Zach, what's your class, bro?
Shoot, I was a C.
No, I'm just asking. Total black. What is yours?
That was my last ranking was a C.
I'm C in USPSA. I just made A in Steel Challenge.
Oh, nice.
Good stuff, huh?
Very nice.
But I can tell a C shooter in USPSA is probably better than the far majority of people that don't shoot competition. So C is still, I guarantee you, when you go to your local range, you're shooting better than most of the people. They're probably looking at your target like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
where most law enforcement starts out.
Mm-hmm.
Start out around the C.
I could be a lot better if I was a little faster, but there's a lot of me.
Yeah. It's just practice, my man.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. This is dope. I'm watching. I'm looking at the chat. I'm gonna post. What's up, QB? I'm gonna post a link, man, for anybody who may have a question for these gentlemen while we got them here. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get these amazing guys here again. So, I would definitely pose your questions because I know I can't remember to ask them all. You mentioned you have online class.
Yeah, I do. So what I do is we do one-on-one video chat lessons. So what I'll do is someone is if they want to get together with a lesson for me, we'll have a conversation about what we want to work on, and then I'll set up a link for them. And it's an appointment. It's a Zoom appointment. You can go on the link. You could pay. You do this, do that, and then we set up our time. We get an hour worth of one-on-one time where we work on anything that you want to work on, and then every lesson thereafter, we go through like a refresher, remediation, answer any questions that you have, and then we go into new content. So, and then in the meantime, in the interim, you could ask me any questions you want. Like I would rather people ask questions right away if they have problems than wait, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to have these questions answered. You want people growing.
For the class and forgot to ask all the questions. Now I'm calling. Hey man, listen.
Right.
I have some students that are very 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 interactive with me in between, and that's that's good because it keeps them growing. You know, I want people to grow. That's what's it's important.
Let me ask: when you do get involved, say if it's a steel challenge,
Sure.
what is the necessary equipment? Like, you have to have a certain amount of magazines. Is that right?
So for steel challenge, right, you need to have enough ammo to shoot, 5 strings of 5 targets, and don't understand you might shoot extra. So I would say probably having 4 magazines is reasonable if you have standard capacity mags. If you're in a 10-round state like me, you're going to want 5 mags minimum, 5 10-round mags. But equipment wise, like Steel Challenge has so many divisions, so they have rimfire divisions too. So rimfire divisions, you have a 22 pistol, you could shoot that. Like, you don't even need a holster for that. Like, that's done at low ready.
Yeah.
You know, they have rimfire rifle. So like 10-22 style rifles, like that kind of thing. They have PCCs. They have and then they have your normal USPSA divisions, which is like production, limited, single stack.
Carry out.
Those are the draw from the holster divisions, right? All the big boy pistol divisions are draw from the holster.
Yeah.
And it's real. I mean, it's simple to get started with. The match usually goes pretty quick. Compared to USPSA, usually takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now these are happening all over the country as well, right? Like, this is not.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay.
And if you're in the Delaware area, IDPA, which it's IDPA, but it's a start. IDPA at Bridgeville in Southern Delaware, the first match is free. You let them know it's your first match; it's free. And then the other matches after that, they're only $5. So it's cheaper than going to the range.
That's how the matches are where I go and shoot. They went up, of course, now, but it's like $15. And then if you want to do an extra gun, it's like $5. And if you want to find matches, you can go out to Practice Score and find matches all over the country on Practice Score.
That's a good question right there, by the way. And the answer is yes. Like so I actually, one of my students is in a wheelchair. And he shoots a lot of like knockdown steel matches. And he actually won his first match recently I think it was in the past month or two. It was proud coach moment there. He did good.
There you go. That's dope.
I watched the video with Keita, and she had a client who was in a wheelchair, and he was competing as well in USPSA, or it was IPSC. It's one of the two. Yeah.
They accommodate. Actually, you know what? At Area 6, we had a dude with no arms shooting.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He had no arms. So what they did is they set up chairs for him. And like he had an ankle holster, and he took the gun out of his holster with his foot, and he was shooting with his feet.
Wow.
It was amazing.
See that?
Amazing. The guy's name was like Bubba or something.
Ghetto, you better get in the competition shooting.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
You ain't got no more excuse.
Yeah, bro. No more excuse. You either. Dude was shooting with his feet.
No shit. And it was an amazing thing to see. Everybody was cheering this dude on too, and the shooting community is such a good community, man.
Yeah.
You have so many good people, and you have everybody wants everybody else to do well. It's not one of those things where people are like severely jealous or anything like that. Like, everybody wants to help.
That's a fact.
That's good.
That's true.
So what are the like ideal weather conditions for a good match?
It depends. I mean, everybody's different. Like I love 70 and sunny.
That's wonderful.
70 to 80 degrees and sunny. Like, I'm happy as shit. Like, I was in Nebraska teaching at the training group summit last weekend, and it was one day was 70, one day was like 90, and the other day was 60, and then it was 25-mile-an-hour wind every day. Like, that was unpleasant.
Yeah.
Literally everything was blowing around all over the place. It was crazy.
What's going on, guys?
What up, brother?
What's going on, guys? Hey, got a question for the competition shooters.
So I do remember asking you.
Hey, Billy.
Are there
Billy,
that was very rude, man.
Cut him off, man. You just cut him off.
I couldn't hear him, Kava.
Yeah.
Hey,
can you hear me?
you looking good, young fella.
I can hear you.
Believe me, I'm.
Let me apologize on behalf of my fly family. That was.
Oh yeah, and I'm way past young, Billy.
You is. I lied. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, got a question for the competition shooters. Do you guys recommend using the Mantis X like training system?
I have one. You just have to understand what it is and what it isn't.
Yeah.
Because it can give you some feedback, but at the same time, like for example, the low left issue, right? If the system detects that you're pushing the gun down, it might give you one reason why you're pushing the gun down, but that doesn't mean that's the reason why you're pushing the gun down. So you got to just kind of be careful of the feedback that it's giving you. Yes, you're pushing the gun down, but is that actually the reason why you're doing it?
Okay, so
not to mention that it's limited. You can't do any movement drills with it. So I rarely use mine because you can't shoot on the move with it because it's going to think the gun is moving when it shouldn't be.
Okay, so for just like a practical person who's new to shooting, do you recommend that system then? Or for somebody that more so understands what it's for?
Spend that money on ammo and training.
I'd agree with that. Any of the systems, like there's not much. If you know how to train with your gun, your sights, your trigger, all that stuff, like the systems don't do a lot. As long as you're gripping the gun as if you're about to shoot rounds through your house, please don't do that. Please don't do that. But the idea is that the idea is that you grip the gun as if you were going to, and if you know how to understand where your gun was aimed when you broke the shot, right? That's more valuable than anything. Do you shoot irons or do you shoot a dot?
Well, my eyesight is getting bad, so I shoot dot.
You're shooting dot, yeah. So a dot is simple. As soon as your fingers hit the back, the frame, the rearward most part of travel, right? Where the dot was at that point, like that's pretty much where your shot has gone. You don't need any system to really tell you that. Like laser systems they'll give you feedback on a target, but they'll cause you to look at the target for the hits, and you won't actually pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, especially with irons. With the dot, it's basically like a laser anyway. So it's just being aware of where it was when your finger hit the back.
So just like the dry firing without the system, should be pretty good then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm about to go through a lot of ammo trying to figure out that dry firing method, focusing on the target.
Give it a try, man. I first learned about that with Travis Haley.
Hey, RGG, we can go to the range and be bad together.
Yeah, man. You just try to get a rematch, bro. That's all you had to do was ask, man. Whenever you ready.
No, it ain't no rematch, man. It's just friendly shooting. That's all.
My man. These guys have been great, man. Tank said this chat is fire. Now that's interesting because I was looking into those Mantis joints. Now that's it. That's scrap that.
And I have an affiliate link, and I'm still saying, listen, you just need your gun, some empty mags, maybe some snap caps. Like I use actual rounds that just don't have a powder in them or primer.
Yeah.
But just to give my gun the right weight, I don't chamber them, but I have them in my mag, so my gun is the weight it would be when I'm shooting. Same exact weight. But other than that, like if you look at my videos, how many times you see me using the Mantis? I'm barely using it. So
there you go.
So this is a double alpha dry fire magazine, right?
Okay.
So it has weight to it. It also has a little spring-loaded follower thing, so you get a realistic feel when you're seating the mag. So this thing has worked out well for me. What Will is talking about is this is the dummy round, right? This has a bullet, this has a case, but there's no powders, no primer in there.
Okay.
Right. But what this does is this allows your mag to weigh very similar to what it should weigh when you have live rounds in it. So every movement that you do with your gun is a calibrated movement, so your body gets used to the weight of a gun. So it's not a good idea to like practice with dumbbells, like presenting the gun or moving the gun around. Because what happens is you get used to this heavyweight, and then you have this light gun in relation to, let's say, a 5-pound dumbbell, and now you're slamming the gun all over the place, losing accuracy because it feels different to you.
I noticed that because I've been shot mechanics for years, but I decided I was gonna move to the X5 Legion.
Yeah, heavy gun.
The weight of it makes such a difference that I decided I'm finally gonna put those Taylor Freelance, the brass, in the SFX, because the weight to me it was so different.
It's a nice balance in that.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting, man. Hold on. Don't look too hard at this guy's face. We'll just pay attention more to the whatever questions he may have. Roadblock.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
How y'all doing?
Peace.
What's up,
Hey,
bro?
young fella?
I'm good, fellas. I run and gun, man. I've been watching your videos for a long time, bro. Long
Much
time.
appreciated.
Man, Rob, just not getting acquainted with you, but I will start watching yours too.
Thank you, brother.
Dealing with snappier guns. So the mechanics of guns are different. So I got a Walther PDP, and it's accurate as hell. All get out. But the recoil is not as soft as, like, say, my Shadow system. My Shadow system is more of a flat shooter. My Staccato was more of a flat shooter. Now, when you're dealing with a snappier gun, it's like you just apply more grip force. Is that what you want to do, or is like how you just want to ride it off? Because it comes right back down to where it needs to be, but that recoil is just pow when it comes down. But what do you think I should do?
So, something with plastic guns, right?
Right.
A lot of people like to run heavier bullets in them.
147.
So you running 147s or?
I self-defense rounds. Yeah, it's just hard to find a full metal jacket in a 147.
Yeah. So like Spear Lawman has some 147s. There, like there's some companies that sell 147s also.
Blazer.
Yeah. Blazer has them. Supervel has them. If you're looking for competition kind of rounds, self-defense, you get a 147 without a plus P, and you're talking about a little bit of a softer shooting gun. In the plastic guns, the steel guns feel a little slow with 147s, but that's one thing. The other thing, the thing that makes my guns look so flat is actually it has to do with a couple of things. One is, so with the support hand I'm crushing, and I have my grip strength around 220 pounds, so I have a lot of force that I can apply on the gun. But additionally speaking, like my wrist, right? So let me see if I.
It's canted forward.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That cant engages the forearm and the bottom here.
Yeah.
And what that does is that resists any sort of muzzle flip that wants to happen, and it returns the gun more consistently. And you have to do it. You have to do it with both hands, right? If you do with the left hand and you don't do it with the right hand, you're going to get a recoil pattern where it tracks up and right. Right. So by doing it the right hand, the way I do it with the right hand is like I talked about these two fingers. By applying pressure downward, I'm trying to find my camera here, right? It engages that forearm muscle in the same way, and that's what keeps both wrists locked equally. So if you have a flippier gun, the only thing you're going to do is you're going to apply a little bit more downward pressure with the wrist, and the gun's going to return pretty consistently.
Okay.
Do you use the Vogel pinch method?
Say it again.
Do you pinch like Vogel?
You know what? I was looking at it, and I guess I kind of do, but I don't really think about it. So he has like the way he explains it, instead of gripping like a monkey gripping a wrench, as he says it. Hold on here, right here. He actually has a twisting motion that he does with his hand, right? So he grips and he twists, right? And I'm trying to get this in the center, and I'm not doing very well at it. There we go. Right? Instead of gripping like this, he grips and rotates. And what that does is that allows you to get higher up on the gun. Whereas for me, I guess I kind of do it because when I apply pressure to the bottom of the grip, my hand rotates up and around like that anyway.
I hope ain't nobody watching this and the audio not working. I will say this though. And it's messed up that we can't have firearms up on the screen unless
I'm
maybe
sorry.
somebody got
sorry,
like a blue gun or something like that.
Mhm.
Because I would like to tell someone who's a novice the proper way to hold the firearm.
Mhm.
You know, because I think I see a lot of people hold guns way
Teacup,
different. Yeah,
teacupping.
I've seen people teacupping. I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people preach the thumb over thumb. I don't know if that's correct. I even seen a person shoot over the weekend with their thumbs hidden, like you damn near didn't see either thumb. Like it was really weird.
Was it a revolver?
Huh?
Was it a revolver? Are they doing that with
No,
the
it was
semi? Oh wow!
was a Glock, but it was.
A lot of people, man, they feel like they are comfortable shooting it like that.
But they were like, it was something like this. I'm looking. They were next to me, and their hands was like this.
Hmm.
And and I'm like, I didn't know the people, but I just looked like I didn't know what to say. Hell, I'm not a trainer or anything like that, to be able to. If they were comfortable shooting that way, but they wasn't really hitting nothing. So I figured that had a lot to do with, their grip. Is there?
It does.
Is it sort of like when we talk about firearms? It's like basketball. When somebody say, maybe Steph Curry form don't look perfect, but hell, he might be the best shooter to ever do it. So if it ain't broke, we're not gonna fix it. We don't need to get his shot up here. If he can shoot from here and still be consistent, let him be. Is that kind of a general rule of thumb in shooting?
I think it's rare to find someone that doesn't have. Now, there's a few ways that are quote unquote acceptable to grip the gun, but I think it's rare to find someone that strays from what is kind of industry standard and still can shoot really well. That's good. That's going to be hard to find. There won't be many people like that.
I agree.
It's funny. I watched Jerry Michalek explain how he shoots, and how he shoots is way different from a lot of the top, competitive shooters and all. But he's one of the best shooters to ever do it.
I think they all have something. If there's some overlap there, there's just some subtle, subtle changes that someone like Vogel. We talked about the pinch grip. Other people don't pinch. So there's some subtle differences, but most people are going to be high up on the backstrap. Make sure you have contact with the trigger guard. All those kind of things are going to be the same.
Now, does bore axes, does that dictate whether you use a gun for competition or not? No,
not for me.
Okay.
Again, good mechanics. Good mechanics means I could take any gun and run it well, right? So like the Atlas guns that I have here, they're 40 caliber guns, and the recoil is more than my mechanic. It's more in my Shadow 2, but because the mechanics are good, it doesn't really make much of a difference, As long as the gun feels comfortable to me, right, and I can run it. Doesn't matter if it's a SIG, a MP, a CZ, a Glock. Like, Borax is it helpful? Yeah, to some degree, but if you can continue to return the gun cycles in 600ths of a second. So we can return the gun within 800ths to a tenth. If we have the right fundamentals. Doesn't matter what the Borax is.
It's funny you said that about Michalek, because early on when I was learning how to shoot, something Rob said earlier when he was talking about applying the pressure with both hands. So his thing one of the things that impressed me, he was like, if you go training and you're shooting, if you come home and one hand is more tight than the other, then you're doing it wrong.
Makes sense.
That's the way he explained it. So I always started making sure to keep that. If I'm squeezing with the left, I'm doing the same. I don't want to have those unequal pressures because you shoot worse. I learned just from listening to him watching videos years ago.
It's interesting that you say that. I do a demonstration in class where I grip the gun with only my support hand, and I work the trigger with my firing hand finger, right? And what you see is that it's interesting. You see the gun doesn't rise anymore, and no shots really go low and no shots really go left, because you don't have the firing hand tension on there. It shows you the firing hand really needs to be, the wrist needs to be locked, It needs to be in the right place so that your finger is in the right spot every time, right? And as far as pressure, it's however much or as little as you need to feel mentally comfortable that the gun's not going anywhere.
Okay.
You know, now if you go too much, right, what happens is your finger locks up and you get this trigger freeze. This finger can't move, right? But for me, I actually grip the gun a lot harder than most people probably do with my firing hand, because when you apply pressure towards the ring finger and the pinky finger, right, these two fingers are both free to do whatever they want to do. So they don't get over tense. But you can grip as hard as you want now. So that seems to work out. For me, that works out really well. Like I rarely get trigger freeze or anything like that.
Now, what are you doing with your elbows? Are you locked or are you loose?
Neither. So locking your joints is not good for your joints, and it also creates a lot of ability to move the gun around. So I don't lock them, but if you're loose, what happens is now the elbows the gun bounces up more. So you get a gun that looks flat, but the elbows are bouncing. Right. So what I try to do is I get them, I stiffen them. So if you lock them out fully and then you pull back just like maybe an inch, that's about where I sit. And the straighter your elbows look from the side, the more the gun is going to want to go straight back and go straight forward. Right. So guys talk about Bob Vogel, right? His torquing, he rotates his hand like you're trying to straighten a horseshoe. Right. I do that as well a little bit. And what that does, when your elbows point more away from each other, it's the same concept. So if you look at it, if you want to get real technical about it, and I do in my lessons also, when they're pointed more away from each other, what happens is the elbows bend anyway. And when they bend in that fashion, it actually pushes the hands together tighter when you actually need recoil the most. You know, versus if you have like an upwards looking slope, the elbows now bounce.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't do anything to help. Engineering shit. I know. I go crazy.
Oh man, this is good.
Oh no, we're talking it all in.
I got a couple of
Where my pen at? Where my pen at?
Now, when you guys are shooting
everything down.
Just listening to you and with all this knowledge, when you shoot and say your shot's off a little bit, you got it's really easy for you to correct the problem. Okay, that shot was a little left. Do you instantly know what you did? Do you know or is it well shit, these sights off because I know I'm the shit? Or is it you know what I'm saying? Like
it's the gun. It's the gun.
Yeah, it's the gun. Got to be.
So the best is when a student comes up to me and says, I think it's the gun. And then I say, okay, I'm gonna aim at the top left corner of that square. And it was right there. Shot a couple flies too in class. It was kind of cool. But literally, dude, I have pictures of it, blood around the bullet hole and everything. But so the better your fundamentals are, the more you can take that out of the equation. Right. So I shot left. Right. I know my grip is pretty solid. I know I typically don't tense my firing hand that often. Right. So in my case, you know, what are some of the options? I looked to the wrong spot. Right. As I was transitioning, I looked to the wrong spot. My shoulders tensed up and I pushed past where I was aiming for right before I shot. If it's the opposite way, I got a little ahead of myself and I shot the gun too early. Right. If I was moving, I didn't track the target properly, meaning I didn't stay focused on the target as I'm moving laterally across it. You know, so there's a lot of different things that you can pick out once grip and trigger control and all that stuff is kind of not in the equation, right? And even if it does come back occasionally, which happens to everybody here and there, right? You'll see that. You'll notice that right away. Like, oh, okay, that was, I got a little tense there, you know?
Yeah.
But it's always
comments. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man. Cut you off.
No. You're always fighting. You're always working to the next thing.
Yeah.
You know, every if you're not failing a little bit in practice, you're not pushing hard enough. So you always got to find that next failure, because that next failure means you've achieved success from the prior failure. That makes sense. You basically come to embrace failure as the next success. Once you do that, like your ceiling is limitless.
Definitely.
Now I saw a comment that said, "I bet they be analyzing the hell out of John Wick movies." When y'all watch movies, or y'all look at them, oh hell no, he ain't doing that right.
Entertainment.
John. So Keanu Reeves trained with Taron Butler and Taron Tactical, so he got the right training.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I heard he was an excellent student as well.
Interesting. Now you guys said something early on in this broadcast, and there wasn't quite as many people in it. And I'm gonna need this to be repeated because it was kind of difficult for me to believe when you guys first said it. Question was asked: what gun should a person buy if they want to get into competition? Will you gentlemen please answer that question again for people that didn't hear it in the beginning?
I'll let Will answer it.
If you already have a gun, chances are you can use that.
Exactly.
Don't buy anything. You don't know if it's going to be outside of the rules, because there's rules for everything, for weight, size, the type of trigger that you have, everything. Just bring what you already have, figure out what sport you want to compete in, figure out what division in that sport you want to compete in, and then if you want to buy something else, buy something else. But the gun isn't a huge factor as much as your ability just to apply fundamentals consistently.
Yep.
Man, I've been in a lot of wasted conversations.
A whole lot.
Don't bring a subcompact though.
Huh?
Don't bring a subcompact. That would be a no-no.
But if that's all you have, there's some people that shoot in the group that I shoot with in Maryland that shoot sub.
Really?
You know, yeah. As long as they can get away with the round count and you have enough mags and that's all you have, then that's all you have. Especially if your goal is not necessarily shoot competition for the sake of competition, and you're doing it for the sake of the reps that might help you in self-defense one day, then why not?
And I like the fact that you say you go and shoot with your gun that you carry every day. And to me, that's impressive because then you have a lot of confidence. You know, God willing, if there was a situation where you had to rely on that firearm, you're very comfortable with it.
Right.
You know.
OG $2 said, can he use his Torcado?
Yeah, can he use his Torcado?
Torcado. It's like a pit bull and a chihuahua.
I know this is going to be a dumb question, but somebody out there want to ask it. Can they use a full-size Taurus in the competition?
Why not?
You ever seen anybody doing that?
That's what you got.
Oh yeah, that's what you got. Use it.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Dang.
You probably do pretty well.
Don't let the choice of gun hold you back from starting.
People think
I saw a guy show up with a high point once. He did it as a joke, but he still was beating people. So
people think that it's so much to get into it and it's hard to get started. I did a video on it. It's not. It's simple to get started. The thing that's the most important is that you actually want to go do it. And another thing that's the most important is have fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the most important. Have fun.
Be safe and have
question
fun.
too, guys.
Yeah.
Question now is if somebody wants to get into competition shooting, is there like a core fundamental when it comes to like grip or trigger control? Is there something that you should work on first, or should you have somebody that's a professional watch you and then critique you at that point?
I mean, there's a lot of information on YouTube now. You can get yourself pretty well started. Like I said, you follow us. Like, we give out information too quite a bit. Like I do an Instagram live pretty much every week, and I answer questions like this for people all the time. You can get yourself started, but then, I mean, if you want to get good, like getting help, getting external feedback is just shortens the learning curve. That's all. That's what I would recommend, because that's what I've been doing for the past. When I've always taken classes, but I started with Practical Shooting Training Group in April of 2019. I signed up for their gold membership, and now I get coached every week by these guys. By Hwancha Kim and Ben Steger.
Yeah.
Now are these guys grandmasters as well?
Well, yeah.
Hey,
No. It's a good question for people who don't know. Ben Steger is, I think he's an 11-time national champion in production division. So he's, he's had significant accomplishments. I think he's won World Shoot once or twice. Hwanshik Kim, he hasn't won a nationals yet. He's placed second in a couple, but he's always performing at the top. He's won a bunch of major matches. Both very, very willing to help, and they want to see people grow. Like,
how'd you sign up for that? What was that again?
So pstg.us is the website, and you have 3 tiers. So bronze gives you access to all the content, right? So you get all the information. You could ask the questions, all the questions you want, like they'll answer them. Silver membership, you get 1 video review a month, and in addition to the content. And then for me, someone like me, I'm a gold member, and I get weekly reviews, a private forum for myself, and training plans that are updated like every month or 2. So constantly send them video reviews, and they give you feedback, and then they'll create the next training plan for you. And if you're not doing what you should, they'll actually ask you. They'll actually get after you and tell you, hey, listen, haven't seen anything from you, that kind of stuff. They haven't done it to me because I'm crazy and I type quite a bit, but they'll do that for other people.
So I ask you this: these guys that are training you,
Mm-hmm.
and we are all very impressed with your skills and
Appreciate
your level.
that.
But when you're around these guys, are you feeling like, I could probably kick Mr. Miyagi ass now, boy? Or is it more like, nah, he's still the teacher, man. I still gotta he's still
still a Padawan. Still a Padawan.
Well, I mean, they're always going to be your coach, and they're always going to be respected. But my goal personally is to win nationals, so win a national title myself. So I don't. I don't. It's hard to answer that question. Like, eventually, if I'm going to be the best, like we have to go against each other. Hwanshik, so he shoots carry optics. I don't shoot carry optics, so I don't have to worry about him. Ben doesn't really shoot much anymore in terms of competition. So, he's won everything there is to win pretty much, and now he's on the teaching side. So it almost doesn't interfere with me. Like if I were to win nationals, like I'm trying to do in a couple years, it's a win for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Who we aiming at right now? What shooter out there pause. Say it different. We ain't aiming at nobody because we're talking about firearms. Who's at the top right now that you're gonna need to beat in competition, man? I like to stir up the pot. Who? Because I'm rooting for you. We're gonna kick his ass. Who?
I appreciate that.
We all.
Yeah.
So the guys at the top right now. You look at a guy like Shane Coley in the division that I'm shooting right now. So I'm shooting limited division right now. Shane Coley, John Browning, Mason Lane, who is actually a good friend of mine too, and he's him and I talk quite a bit. JJ Rakaza, he's one of the top guys for a long time. There's a bunch of them.
Okay.
But the truth of it is, in the sport, it's really you versus you, right? The more you can continually fight yourself and beat yourself every day and continue to grow and grow and grow, as long as you have those aspirations and you continue to play the me versus me game and win against yourself and bring 100% of that ability, your ability is going to keep growing as long as you put in the effort into it. So that gives you a lot of mental power over other people too, who are concerned with the results of others. Like I can't control what someone else does. I could shoot the best match of my life, and then someone else could just have a better day.
Hey, so let me ask you a question. What holster do you use? What holster?
Currently speaking, I use a holster by the company of GX Products. Leif Kunkel's the dude's name, but if you look at GX Products on Instagram, he makes some good shit.
Okay.
He's made probably the last 3 or 4 holsters for me.
Okay.
What's nice about his stuff is it's called the Vice. So they have a little lever, and when you flip it up, it has full retention. Like it's hard to pull the gun out of the holster. And then when you flip it down, it has no retention.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a great holster, and you got real cool designs with it too. Actually, can I show a holster?
You can show the holster.
Yeah.
You can already
Yeah.
show the
Oh,
gun,
one
man.
second.
Shit,
I'm so used to Instagram where I'm always having guns out. Here we go. So here's my my holster right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, nice.
Oh, that's nice. What is
That is
that?
nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So
Got a little hot pink going on in there.
well, that's actually because my fiance got hot pink first, and I thought it was pretty cool. So
All right, man. Who are
That's
we?
cool.
Who are we to argue with you, man? You the man.
May I
What's
ask? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
As far as ammunition, production or reloads?
Good question.
it's either one works. So there are companies that sell good competition ammo. So like Supervel is one, Outdoor Dynamics is another. Phoenix Ammunition I used to buy quite a bit from them. The downside to that is you're going to wait potentially, and it's going to be expensive. Reloading your own ammo is more cost efficient. So like, I think at this point I make ammo for 20 cents a round or something like that, or 18 cents a round. Primers are expensive. Primers are hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know, it's more cost effective. I don't reload for like loads to be really light. I reload to a reasonable, you know, factory kind of standard.
Yeah.
This way, because you have a minimum that you have to meet, and if you don't meet the minimum, you're either shooting for less score or you're shooting for fun. So, you know, there's no reason to play along the line.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really an economy thing. It just saves money.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
Being a competition shooter, you guys shooting as much as you do, and we were just talking about ammo, and somebody wanting to get into this area. How much ammo do we need on hand? Like, I mean, you got to be buying in bulk, I'm guessing, because hell, I try to buy in bulk and I don't shoot half as much as you guys do.
It depends on how hard you want to hit it, really. I've never shot 50,000. The most that I was shooting was 20,000 a year when I was knee deep in competition shooting, so 20K. But ammo is different now. This was pre-pandemic. So what I do now, I shoot a 22. I'm a Glock shooter, so I shoot a Glock 44 when I practice. I shoot a 22 and I go to the match and shoot my 9. So I don't even. 99% of my practice is with a 22. Fundamentals are the same. I just got to make sure I'm gripping the gun like I should grip the gun. But when I switch to 9, it's not like, oh shit, this is a time bomb going off my hands. People are like, you can do that? I'm like, yeah.
The 44 and the 45 are similar frame.
The 44 and the 19 are exactly the same. Just one is. So the only difference, the grip is a little bit shorter, but the slide length is the same. But I have all my guns set up the same way. So if I grab one, and since they're Glocks, they're all pretty much the same damn gun. Glock doesn't make much different. But because I'm shooting 22, I'm shooting for 4 or 5 cents a round. I bought a bunch of it for the pandemic, so I can go burn 400, 500, 600 rounds, and it doesn't hurt me per se. Like, I don't know how people are doing 9. If I had to shoot 9, to be honest, I just wouldn't shoot that much. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Man, you guys have been amazing, man. I can't thank y'all enough. This has been, I've been doing live now for about a year. So
I came in late.
This is one of my favorite. This has been one of my favorite lives, and a lot of people have been very interested. And I know shout out to my fly family for this idea.
Yeah, Billy.
Talk about competition a lot, and then he brought you guys' names up and reached out. So that's amazing to me, man. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to stop by. I hope we could do it again, man, because I think this would be great. We do it in another month or so, you know. Stop back in and let us pick your brain a little bit.
And can we just kill the idea real quick before we go that competition will get you killed in the streets? Because it's pure madness.
Hold on,
pure madness, and it needs to stop.
Let me say it again. Kill that bullshit. You know what? Like I don't ever really hear that, but is that what people be saying?
Yes. Yep. And they'll say ludicrous things like, you know where the target is ahead of time, as if when you go to your indoor range and stand in your phone booth, you don't know where the target is.
You know, most people don't understand the way USPSA came about. Just go look up the history of it, then you know where it came from and how it got started.
Yeah, it's not tactical.
Your draw's faster.
Well, not only that, your information processing is faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the higher you can shoot subconsciously, the more brain power you have to make decisions.
Yes.
Yeah,
and there's the element of stress.
I would think that's ludicrous as well, because that point and shoot factor. You guys, I mean, it's like second nature to you. I've watched some guys on video shooting so damn fast. I'd be like, how the hell? And then I'm talking about they nailing the target. So if a guy can present and bing, 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 you telling me he can't hit your big ass the same way? I mean, I'm just saying, like that would almost be common sense to me. If you're hitting 8-inch plates, you know, that easily, you know, hitting a potential threat would be.
What's funny is that the body, when you do something over and over and over again, it forms a habit. The habit turns into muscle memory. So you know when you pull your gun, like I'm on my square, I'm moving. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all do. I mean, I don't know where that came from. It's probably somebody that can't shoot.
Right.
So
it's the tactical Timmies with their 1911s, and it's just old thinking. People just don't evolve, and some people just get to a certain age where they just refuse to take on new information. The same thing with red dots. So you can't put a dot on your gun because of 35 different things, and almost all those people have dots on their rifles. Like, all right, which one is it? Like, make up your mind.
Interesting, man. But now, damn it, I said that was my last question, so I did lie. Let me apologize, because I have another. Do you think red dots are the future? And I'm talking handguns.
They are the present.
Well, let me shut up. Shut my mouth. Don't talk.
I was in production, and I loved production. I refused to go to carry optics, but it got to the point where in my area there would be 4 or 5 people in production because everybody went to carry optics where you can shoot a dot. So there was a match where I shot horribly and I got first in production. I'm like, I beat 3 people and I didn't shoot all that well. Let me just go ahead and just put a dot on my gun and call it a day.
Okay. Are there any particular dots you recommend? This is gonna spark a whole nother live.
Sight mark.
He said sight mark.
that was for Armel. That's who that was.
Armel, sight mark, man.
I've had real good experience with Hollow Suns, man. I haven't had an issue, and I have 5 of them on pistols and another 2 or 3 on rifles.
Hollow Suns. Okay.
Those are popular. The SROs are popular.
Yeah, now if it's strictly competition, then the SRO is gonna pretty much reign supreme.
That's really popular.
CZ Mitchell said Trijicon SRO. That's what I was shooting when I was down at the range with those guys. Now I don't own one because the SROs cost more than most of my guns. So I may have to go with the Hollowson. But what makes the SROs better for competition?
The big
round window.
And they're durable.
That thing about that big, everything.
Okay, so that's that, man. I won't hold you guys any longer. I usually try to go 2 hours and cap it, man. You guys have hung out with me this whole time, man. If whoever's on Instagram, we need to go follow Rob and Running Gun, man. These guys have been amazing, man, and gave us a lot of information that I'm sure outside of tonight they charge for. I'm looking at the frustration on Rob's face like, God damn it, that was at least $1,500 worth of information I just gave you. So, this is amazing, man. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know, brother, because you didn't have to do that, man. And,
appreciate you guys.
And I'm seeing all the compliments in the chat saying how dope you are, man. So a lot of people are obviously familiar with the gentleman.
What is his IG? Is it just Rob?
My name.
How's it gonna be just Rob? He's at Rob. Come on, man.
I didn't want to say his last name because I didn't want to mess it up.
You can't say it, just like I can't, but I will spell it for you. EPIFA.
I'm just gonna spell it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But let's make sure. Zach, are you typeable right now?
Yeah, give me a second.
So we can put the IGs up on the screen before we leave.
Yeah, give me
and let's go follow these gentlemen.
I appreciate
and support them for giving us all this valuable information. Watch, man. I already know what's about to happen to me. I'm making it rough on myself because I'm gonna come back to the next live, and there's gonna be 20 questions in the chat like, RGG, which way should I grip the gun? Should my left hand be tighter than the right? And how can I aim at the target and make my iron sights look like a red dot? That's gonna be the conversation right there. How can I use my iron sights like it's a red dot?
Hey,
like,
now what do you guys think about the Delta Point Pro?
I mean, I don't have any personal experience with it. I hear the newer ones are better.
I love mine.
Okay.
Can't afford mine.
Yeah, my Delta Point Pro, it runs. It seems to work fine.
my red dot is taking a lighter and making the fiber bigger.
There you go.
Now, which
I get you.
Now, which guns are the Seymours used on? Are those on like the Parrots and the Berettas and stuff like that? The Seymour optics.
Those
I
are
only use Seymours on my PCCs. I don't really run Seymours on pistols.
Yeah, most people don't run Seymours very often. On carry optics guns, open guns, you'll see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I just followed both of you guys on IG, man.
Thank you, man.
I already follow running guns.
If y'all, y'all won't follow me back, I'm a regular gun guy everywhere. That'll be dope. So that way I can DM y'all and it don't stay in the request forever. If I ever had like a competition type of question, because my goal is to be able to outshoot Twister one day. And
that's a far goal, young man.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do it, man, because they was trash talking me, teaching me and trash talking me at the same time. So I got to get back to that. But no, all jokes aside, man, I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks everybody for all the great questions. Kaba, thanks for coming through. Roadblock, I appreciate it. My Fly for the idea. Fat Guy with Guns for your competition knowledge. Total Glock Boy, man, look like we made your dream come true today, man.
Oh yeah, sure, man.
Glad we could do that for you, man.
Hey, is Rob be down in Nashville?
Say again?
Everybody's singing together. This ain't a choir now. We got it one at a time.
Okay, man. I'm gonna be shooting Saturday morning over in Talladega at the Steel Championship.
Cool.
So y'all gonna watch me, man. I think it starts at like 9:00. I think last year it was on YouTube Live, so y'all get a chance to turn it on. Come check me out, man. I'll probably be
awesome, man.
To watch a bunch of other people, but I'll pop up sooner or later.
YouTube.
Shoot well, man. Shoot well.
Yeah, man.
Best of luck to you, brother.
Thanks, man.
And comment what you were saying.
I said with Rob and Run and Gun and with Total Glock, are they going to be down in Nashville?
Well, I know Total Glock will be in Nashville.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Man, listen, I got a huge 2A event going on in Nashville Memorial Day weekend. I know this is like super late notice, but I didn't know you guys. You would have absolutely been invited. But this is it's a huge event, man. We got some of everybody coming out, a lot of supporters and big YouTubers and everybody. And we're just gonna have fun. We're having a big range day, and then I'm doing it's called the RGAs. It's the regular Guntuber Awards. We'll be giving out awards to content creators on YouTube and creating 2A content. So it's crazy. It's all sold out, man. If you guys are interested, again, it's only one day. It's just that Saturday the 28th. Everything happens that day. Range day, as well as the award show in Nashville, Tennessee. So
what month is it?
May next month.
Next month. Yeah, so it's coming up pretty fast. But you guys are absolutely invited, man. I mean, the event is sold out, but I'll make some arrangements to get you there if you guys want to get you in, if you guys want to come. So
let's definitely talk about that and see what we can come up with.
Okay, that sounds good, man. Other than that, man, I have nothing else for you, gentlemen. I can't thank you enough. You've been great. Anybody else? If y'all got any last questions, man? Billy, you okay?
I just want to thank them personally, man. I appreciate you guys kicking it with me, responding back to me, and popping up on short notice. And I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, I watch you guys both all the time. And you guys are dope. You guys are really dope.
Much appreciated. Anytime,
appreciate
man.
it, brother.
Just let me know.
Now, I want to apologize too on behalf of my fly family. He's got this weird habit that we've been trying to fix. Has nothing to do with shooting. He always says, "Let me ask you a quick question." Before every question, he says that. We can't fix it. We've been trying to fix it. It's like, man, you don't have to say that. Just ask the fucking question. He won't do it. He always says, "Let me ask you a quick question" before he asks the question. So I want to apologize because if you go back and count, he said that at least 23 times tonight. So just
you got to turn it into a drinking game.
We got
He's gonna be passed out.
Yeah, he'll be done. He'll be definitely done. So that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna close this live out. I'll see everybody this Friday on Donation Friday for mystery gun giveaway, as well as I think we're gonna do a Hollow Sun optic this Friday as well, and maybe some other cool stuff. And we'll have trivia as well Friday night. So I'll see everybody on Friday, man. Everybody be safe, stay strapped, do your thing, man, and we'll see you guys next time around.
Peace, family.
Thanks, dude.
Peace.
See you guys later.
All right.